unnecessary intro song to totally waste your time. So I'm just right off of exit 378 outside of Wendover, Nevada. So basically in the middle of BFE, there's a little abandoned gas station. I wanted to pull in front of it, take a nice picture, but guess what? There's a gate. Locked. No trespassing. I'm expecting somebody with a shotgun to show up any minute. Exit 378 on I-80. You know, that means there's 378 exits that I could take in Nevada. I will likely, as I'm driving through Nevada, take 3 of them. 3 out of 378. The one I'm on right now, looking at a sign, goes down 233 Nevada north, goes to Montello and Tremonton. Never been to either one of those places. I'm guessing they're both small, dry, and hot. The other way is Oasis. That speaks for itself. They've got water, and that's important. They need you to know that. Because the assumption is there isn't much water around here. You know, traveling is fun, isn't it? There's a dragonfly flying right by my face. I don't know where it came from. There's a bunch of weeds. Different kinds of weeds that remind me of Utah. Sagebrush, grasses, little white butterfly, gray rocks trucked in from somewhere else, asphalt, blue skies, wispy clouds. God, I could stay at exit 378, just right here, within 100 yards. I could probably spend a lifetime figuring out how all these things work. Like, what's that bird? It's a bird that just flew by. Looks like a finch of some sort. It's not as round as a sparrow. You know, what are the animals that live here? There's some flies, mosquitoes, grasshoppers. You know, how much is there to learn at exit 378 in Nevada? Did you hear that fly? Fly just buzzed by my face. Here comes a car. Cadillac Escalante. Is it? No, it's a Toyota. Never mind. So many options, you know? Anyway, why did I stop at exit 378, you might ask? Well, because at about, maybe exit 380, I stopped to take a pee, and I checked my Facebook, and there was a post on there that was, to sum it up, saying that he was saying that half of Americans don't have passports, and the blissful ignorance astounds him. And I thought, well, that's kind of an interesting post. The claim is that, you know, if you don't have a passport, you're ignorant. You know, and the passport means, and he said Americans. So the claim is really that Americans are dumb because they don't travel to other countries, which would mean that people in other countries, he's comparing Americans. He didn't provide a different country. He didn't say, whereas in Canada, 100% of the people have passports, and they are geniuses up there, and also happy, and obviously not ignorant, because they've been to every place on the globe. And so I made a little comment. I was like, will you just tell me how many Chinese people have passports? What about Brazilians? What about Russians? How many of them have passports? And what do they do with them? You know, poor people don't often travel internationally. They don't. That is kind of a rich people thing. Jets cost money, time off from work. It's just simply not in the cards for billions and billions of people on the earth. And of course, everybody on earth is absolutely ignorant, and I'm not so sure how bliss plays into that. Was I happier when I thought Santa Claus was real? I don't know. Probably not. I'm not so sure ignorance is actually blissful. Where do they get that? And how does traveling suddenly get rid of that? I can sit here at exit 378 in Nevada and just assume it's like everywhere else I've ever been. You know? I could. Plants, weeds, hot. I could sit here and not learn a goddamn thing. I could also travel to Paris and take that attitude with me and not learn a goddamn thing. I could go to Brazil and not learn a goddamn thing. I could go to school and not learn a goddamn thing. I could read a book and not learn a goddamn thing. Ignorance almost has nothing to do with that shit. I wanted to comment to this guy. I wanted to say, all right, where do you live, sir? I don't know where he lives. You know, he's just a guy that's in my feed. He added me. I don't add people on Facebook, but he added me for some reason, probably because he liked pictures of naked girls. Who knows? I don't know. But I wanted to say, sir, where do you live? Within 2 blocks, let's just say 2 blocks of your house, can you tell me all the plants, the native species that grow there? Tell me the invasive species. Tell me the native plants that have grown there. Tell me the invasive species. Tell me what the history of the land was. Like, who settled it first? What fossils are there under the ground? Where was the ground first located in respect to Pangea? Well, okay, now I'm getting too deep. How about tell me all the names of the people on your street? Right? How about let's start with that. Tell me the names of everybody on your street and give me a paragraph about each one of them. Where they're from, what their history is. You know, how about within a mile of your house, tell me every restaurant. You know, what do they serve? Give me your reviews on every one of them. You know, give me some history. Tell me who owns the businesses, how long they've been there. Give me a general rundown of the demographics of your community. Age. Tell me the names of the teachers at the school. Who are the policemen? You know? Tell me about exit 65 or whatever your exit is. Just your exit. When you can give me a really good, finely detailed report on your exit, then maybe you can move on to equating passports with wisdom or intelligence or whatever point you were trying to make, you know. But I have a really sneaking suspicion that you don't know a goddamn thing about your own immediate surroundings. It's just a guess. It's a guess that in comparison with what there is to know about your own exit, you don't know shit. And my guess is that you could spend your whole life at your exit and barely scratch the surface of what there is to learn about your exit, about those people, about those plants, about that weather. So yeah, I'm not talking shit about a passport. Passport is an absolutely wonderful thing to have. Well, fuck the passport. I hate the passport. You shouldn't have to have a passport. Ideally speaking, you should be able to go wherever you want to go, right? Travel is great. But not just travel, but curiosity. Curiosity, openness, a willingness to learn. You know, keeping your eyes open, learning about the plants and the animals, and the people, the songs and the bands. How many bands play in your town? Who are all the musicians at your exit? Did you hear that fly? I haven't seen a bee yet, by the way. Colony collapses everywhere. We're going to die. Better get your passports. Because you're ignorant if you don't have them. You're dumb if you don't have your passport. You're not smart. Because there's no way to be smart without your passport. That's proof. Yeah, so that's what happens when I check my comments on Facebook. I get so annoyed with people's smug, humble brags. I got a passport. Everybody else that doesn't have one is dumb. I went to Spain. I went to Barcelona. Have you ever had tapas? Tapas are a better way to eat. Small bites. Superior. Americans are stupid. Sorry about that. That's what it sounds like to me. When people brag, when people attach intelligence to an item. Passport. You're smart. Anyway, that's my report from Exit 378 on Highway 233, North Nevada. Thanks for listening. Hold on. Stop what you're doing. I'm now at Exit 365 in Nevada. And I was reminded of something I already knew, but I forgot about during the recording of the preceding episode. And that is that when an exit says 365, it's not because it's the 365th exit. It's because it's at mile marker 365. So, exit 378 was at mile marker 378. And another thing is that the exits are named odd and even depending on what side of the road they're on. Kind of like addresses. That's not true. I just fed you false information. It's just purely by the mile. It has to be because I was at 378, now I'm 365, and it's the same side of the road. So you tell me, how are they doing that? Don't you think it would be smarter to put all the evens on one side and all the odds on the other side, since there's more exits? You know? I don't know. Do you see how much there is to learn about your own goddamn backyard? Thanks for listening, for real this time. Guess what? I tricked you again. I did. Now I'm at exit 360. And I had 5 miles to drive and think about what I had just said. And you know what I thought? First of all, can you hear that train in the background? Isn't that nice? I'm in Nevada at exit 360 and you hear a train. And you thought this episode was over? And here now you have the excitement of a train hauling oil, I think, it's tankers, Could be anything in there. Chemicals. Just hauling shit. What do you know about trains? Getting back into travel, right? But this is what I wanted to do. I talked about that guy's bedroom, right? Or no, I talked about that guy's neighborhood. What do you know about your neighborhood, your exit? Fuck that. Let's drill deeper. What do you know about your house? The items in it. Do you know how it was built? Do you know how the plumbing works? Do you know how the electricity works? Do you know how your refrigerator works? Do you know how the gadgets you're holding work? What do you know about your own house? What about the history of your house? Who built it? With what materials? Where did the trees grow? Where was the lumber harvested? What do you know about your house? And then what do you know about your bedroom? Where were the things in your bedroom made? China, India, Indiana? Where were the things in your bedroom made? Now that train goes away and it makes you think, how far were they shipped? Talk about travel. Think of all the travel that went on to fill your bedroom with IKEA crap. What do you know about that? Do you have to go to Sweden or wherever the fuck that's from? Is IKEA Sweden? Seems like it is. I don't know. My passport's out of date. I'm dumb. But how about this? And we didn't even talk about microscopes. So let's say you get bored. I finished everything in my house. Now I know where the tiles come from. I know how plumbing works. I know how fucking switches work. I know how refrigeration works. Yeah. Do you? Okay, great. You're a master of your house. You finally figured that out. Maybe now you can get a passport. But wait! Do you have a microscope? What do you know about your own body? Huh? Cells. Do you know how your body is made? Do you know how your brain is made? What do you know about your own body? Have you ever taken a microscope and studied your cells? Have you ever picked through your own shit? Have you ever looked at the little animals that live on your eyelashes? Have you ever explored that great world? Do you have a passport to your butthole? Huh? Do you have a passport to your ball sack? Do you know how your balls work? Do you know how life happens? What about that? Or are you just blissfully ignorant because you don't have a passport to your liver? How much did you learn when you explored your heart? And I'm not being poetic there. Literally just trying to figure out if you know how your valves work. What kind of shit you got clogging your arteries? Where you got a blood clot, huh? What about that toenail situation you got going on? Have you ever looked at a microscope into that? How about an microscope? Electron microscope, the ones that get really, really close up and show you those animals that live on your eyelashes and all the billions and billions of creatures that live in your gut. How many is it? I don't know. Somebody said, I think I heard one time that you've got more bacteria in your body than there are people on the whole goddamn planet. You got a whole universe inside of your body. What do you know about that, Mr. I have a passport, I'm smarter than you? How much do you know about that? My guess is probably next to zilch, which is just a little bit lower than the most professional, smart, intelligent scientists in the world know. Huh? Do you get my point? Do you get my point? That you can sit there and explore one booger out of your nose for probably the rest of your life, drilling further and further in because of all the goddamn things you breathed, all the molecules that got stuck in your booger, that those little hairs in your nose grabbed onto, is that, oh no, not you, you're not going into my lungs. How much can you learn by exploring the fucking universe of your booger? And I get it. We're getting into Horton Hears a Who territory. But that's where I wanted to take you. And it took me a few exits to do so. So how do you like that? Thanks for listening.